All right. So just take a moment to begin to prepare to relax really deeply, shifting around, eyes open for the next few moments, looking around, and perhaps you can just pick a spot on the ceiling or the wall a little bit above eye level so that your head might be facing forward, but your eyes are looking up, gazing comfortably. And I'd like you to just, as your breath comes in and out, really focus in on that spot. And you can just become aware that there's a tendency for those eyes to blink. And you might even have a dry mouth and it reminds you to take a sip of something or to just swallow and relax, noticing that tendency in the eyes to blink all by themselves. And as you begin to relax more, that blinking will become a little faster and slower, a little more frequent, and the blink itself be a little slower, a little heavier. And that doesn't have to happen any sooner than it feels right. But you might notice the shapes and colors in your peripheral vision continuing to gaze deeply at that spot, allowing that jaw to loosen, shoulders to drop, and noticing that with your imagination, you could feel tiny weights pulling down on your eyelids, pulling them closed, in the knowledge that when they do, a wave of deep comfort can carry you all the way down into an increasing state of calm, inward focus. And at some point you can just say to yourself, I feel good with my eyes closed, and just make the decision to let them stay that way. So that with a deep, full in-breath and a slow and smooth, restful out-breath, you can enjoy this deep rest right now with eyelids closed and remaining that way, with mind calming, body sinking, resting, drifting, toes relaxing, fingertips relaxing, a sense of deep calm flowing all through the body, up the legs, calves, thighs and hamstrings. That's it. Up the arms, past the elbows, and how the stomach, back and chest can just experience a sense of letting go, releasing, softening the muscles of the neck and face, and remembering what the freedom of a wonderful holiday feels like. The beauty, the ability to take all the time you need to really luxuriate in the time that is yours. The time that is yours to enjoy so thoroughly. And some people on holiday stretch out on the beach, basking in the warmth of the sun, listening to the waves lapping at the shore. Others explore new places, landscapes, the sounds of nature around them. Towns, the calm sense of the flow here and there. Local delicacies, wonderful fresh tastes on the tongue. But there is always a sense that this is your time to enjoy. And the reality of what you've begun to do here and now is of very great importance to your learning how to consciously control your muscles and the rhythm of your breathing. Because as you've been listening to this, you've already been relaxing, consciously and unconsciously. And although your conscious mind may have drifted off from time to time into different thoughts about this and that, all the while your breathing has begun to slow and deepen. Your heart rate has begun to slow. Your brain waves have begun to shift into deeper rhythms, so that in closing your eyes and listening carefully with the intention of deeply relaxing, you've already made measurable physical changes in your body. Changes taken care of by your unconscious. And in trance, you can learn to profoundly, directly influence your unconscious. And as you continue to relax, even deeper still, you can begin right now, noticing in front of you a great wide cinema screen stretched out before your vision, feeling your hands resting on the arms perhaps of a theater seat or a very comfortable lazy boy, whatever is the perfect seat for you as you lean back and begin to watch a movie. And that movie begins with a herd of wild horses, some brown, some black, a white one, all galloping across hills and fields, hearing the thundering of their hooves rhythmically pounding the ground, vibrating through the cinema, watching their manes blow in the wind, powerful muscles propelling them forward, breathing hard and fast, their respiratory systems powerfully deep now, amazingly efficient, hearing them snort with delight as they weave this way and that, running for the sheer exhilaration and pleasure it brings. And there comes a time when the horses slow and come to a halt, meandering about, grazing on the grass, and you can really pay special attention as their breathing immediately and effortlessly begins to relax and slows right down in a very short space of time. When they stop to graze, to rest, or to wander, their bodies know intuitively how to slow that breathing right down, easily, smoothly, and naturally. And as you consider that on every level, your unconscious can really get a sense of relaxing and slowing the breath really means. How there are times when you need a lot of oxygen, when you're exercising, doing something strenuous, moving quickly. And then there are times when you are much calmer, rested, and still. And then that breathing can slow right down again, deepen again, and really relax. And the airways in the lungs can be open and free. And you can notice before, in the reach of your hand, a dial, and you can see the words breathing rate written clearly above it. And as you reach out to that dial, you find that turning it a little one way causes the airways in the lungs to narrow a little bit, and for the breathing rate to increase a little bit. But turning it the other way, that's right, now lets the body know it's time to relax properly. So the airways widen and breathing becomes free and easy. And as you turn that dial right down now and feel the release, you can realize that the more you do this, the more your unconscious will become deeply familiar with this process, and the more effective a tool it will become, such that if you consider a particular trigger for those asthma episodes you've had in the past, perhaps mold, stress, smoke, physical exhaustion, whatever it was, whatever it used to be, you can just choose one here, now, and find yourself back in that cinema, watching that screen. This time, seeing you up there on the screen, seeing yourself just before the experience of that trigger. Breathing well. And then watch calmly, feeling the chair here underneath you, as that you on the screen experiences that trigger and has the teeniest tiny beginnings of that asthma response, only to find something different happens now, as a part of them on the screen begins to go inside and access that dial and turn it down again, calming and relaxing the lungs, the airways expanding, remembering an image of those horses ending their gallop and instinctively breathing slower and slower, more and more fully and easily, until they have reached a natural resting rhythm. And watching that you on the screen, able to calm down that old response thoroughly, and continuing to do what they were doing, breathing calmly and easily. That's good. And now I'd like you to float out of your cinema seat and right into the beginning of that movie, stepping right inside this future you, becoming yourself there, seeing what you'll see, hearing what you'll hear just before you experience an old trigger. And then going through this future time, experiencing the beginning sense of an episode, perhaps a little sense of tightening in the chest, just reminding yourself to go inside now, reaching out in your mind to turn that dial down. And as you do that, you can feel the lungs release like a wonderful, relaxing sigh. Like a flash of the memory of those horses calming right down and meandering around at rest. And just enjoying going through this future time, feeling at ease for the rest of the day, in the knowledge that your unconscious is going to make this increasingly real future template for you to physically experience in the days and weeks ahead. And as you prepare to become wide awake, you can bring these feelings of comfort and rest back with you, perhaps finding yourself pleasantly surprised to realize that once, twice, 3 times a day, you have thought about the horses showing up for no real reason, just showing up, and then realizing later that you breathed with such ease throughout that time. Bring these feelings of comfort and rest back with you, carrying them into the future. Just noticing now the position of your arms and legs, perhaps even your fingers, letting them wiggle a little bit, wiggling your toes, the sensation of whatever's supporting your body, and reorienting to the here and now. Moving your shoulders a little bit, moving your head, taking a bigger breath in. Coming back, refreshed and alert. And just open your eyes.